सिचुएशन बहुत ख़राब हो गया था.
The situation became worse as the days passed. We did not have access to water, electricity or food. With the help of the embassy and with our contribution, we took 40 people in a bus to Port Sudan, where we received a lot of help from the embassy and the government.
एम्बेसी की गवर्नमेंट की काफ़ी हेल्प मिली.
At times there was this, we were thinking that this is it, we are going to die, all of us. But then, we just, with the company that is in India and with the Indian government, supported us with food. They provided water and they provided fuel so that we, survived for a few more days.
Glimpses of Operation Kaveri, India's evacuation mission to bring back its stranded nationals from conflict-hit Sudan. India has also offered assistance to its neighboring countries to bring back stranded nationals from the African country. Among many South Asian nations, Sri Lanka's Foreign Minister Ali Sabri has thanked India for extending its support in evacuating stranded citizens in Sudan. We hope for the safe return of all evacuees. Hello there, you are watching WION. This is our show Inside South Asia with me, Dasuni Athauda. Before we begin, here's a look at what's lined up for you this week. The tussle between the government and the judiciary has been going on for weeks in Pakistan. Added to that are the protests from Imran Khan's PTI. Because of this, Pakistan's economy has taken a complete collapse. The bigger question is, has Pakistan's economy resulted in the complete collapse of the executive, judiciary, and practically all else? Here's our report.
Yet another political crisis in Pakistan, with relations between the judiciary and the ruling coalition having soured over poll dates for Punjab and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. At the centre of it, Imran Khan pushing for early polls. This, in addition to an economic spiral, high levels of inflation, a massive external debt, concerns over growing homegrown terror, and now talks of a possible military takeover.
Martial law always remains a possibility. And Pakistan has had long periods of martial law in very similar situations. In fact, I would say that there's never been an economic situation or a political situation as severe as the one today.
The latest crisis, driven after Pakistan's parliament in April ruled against providing funds for provincial snap polls called by the Supreme Court on a plea filed by former Prime Minister Imran Khan. The Sharif government's contention: it cannot spare 21 billion Pakistani rupees needed to fund these polls. While the political reasons for Sharif not agreeing to the judiciary's order may be one part of the story, it's obvious that Pakistan's economy is in severe crisis. According to the United States Institute of Peace, as of December 2022, Pakistan holds external debt and liabilities of $126.3 billion, of which around $27 billion is Chinese debt. Another $8.5 billion is owed to the Paris Club, a group of 22 major creditor countries. A major share of Pakistan's debt is also owed to multilateral institutions amounting to roughly $45 billion. Islamabad's main multilateral creditors include the World Bank, the Asian Development Bank, and the IMF. That's not all. Lending from Pakistani banks to the federal government surged 182% in the last 9 months. Foreign exchange reserves held by the State Bank of Pakistan have dipped to $2.9 billion. Such low levels of foreign exchange reserves raise alarm bells and can have major implications for Pakistan's currency exchange rate. External debt to be repaid by June 2026 is $77.5 billion. For a $350 billion economy, that's a hefty burden. The Sharif government needs IMF financing to avoid a default, but to meet the terms of the debt, it needs to raise taxes further and slash subsidies, an unpopular move that could create further political instability for Shehbaz Sharif. So what's triggered the latest crisis? It all started with the removal of former Prime Minister Imran Khan from power through a parliamentary vote of confidence in April last year. Khan launched a countrywide campaign to demand immediate national elections. As the government rejected his demand, Khan decided to dissolve the provincial assemblies of Punjab and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa in January and asked the top court to intervene. Now Khan claims he dissolved the assemblies at the behest of the former army chief Bajwa, a claim that so far remains unsubstantiated. Relations between the judiciary and the ruling coalition were already at tipping points since the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz-led government pushed for the Supreme Court Bill 2023 to dilute the powers of the Chief Justice of Pakistan. If the military is to take over, this wouldn't be a first. Remember, no civilian leader in Pakistan has ever completed a full term. In 1958, Pakistan saw its first military coup when General Ayub Khan seized power from President Iskandar Mirza. In 1977, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto was deposed by General Zia-ul Haq. In 1997, Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif returned for his second non-consecutive term but remained in power only for under 3 years as the army chief Pervez Musharraf toppled him in a military coup in 1999. It's no secret that the Pakistan Army has had a hand in every government formation in Pakistan. Imran Khan came to power in 2018 with the tacit support of the Pakistani military. And unlike brother Nawaz, Shehbaz Sharif has traditionally had good relations with the military. As of now, the military in Pakistan seems to be standing at equidistance from both leaders. But the more important question, can Pakistan afford political instability given its deep economic crisis?
From Pakistan to Bangladesh, it has been 10 years since the worst disaster Bangladesh's garment industry ever faced. The fight for workers' rights, safe working conditions and fair play still persists and languishes. The ugly Rana Plaza disaster that killed over 1,100 people should have been a wake-up call. But has anything really changed? Take a look at this report.
April 24, 2013. The brutal aftermath of the collapse of a sprawling 8-story garments factory complex near Bangladesh capital Dhaka. Volunteers, rescuers, firefighters and army personnel worked frantically through 19 days to rescue people trapped inside. 1,138 textile workers were killed, some 2,500 escaped alive, many with life-changing injuries. The numbers say it all. 10 years on, the Rana Plaza complex catastrophe remains one of the world's most devastating industrial disasters, ranked only after the Bhopal gas leak. Scars of that nightmare persist, with action and justice still only partly achieved.
I don't know whose fault it is, but we're not getting the justice even after 10 years. We want justice, appropriate compensation and treatment. We want treatment for the rest of our lives. We are alive and we are dying day by day. No one is beside us now.
They call us living corpses. We don't get appropriate medical treatment. We can't even speak anywhere. We can't earn our bread by a job.
Beyond the incident itself, the tragedy spotlighted the global garment industry's reliance on developing world labor and big shortcomings in the way these workers are treated. Rana Plaza, in that sense, marked a turning point of sorts. So what has been done and what hasn't? Many of the brands that had units in Rana Plaza, Primark, Walmart, Zara owner Inditex and H&M contributed to a $30 million compensation fund for the families of victims. In 2021, an expanded international accord was developed that included more safety and worker health provisions beyond fire, electrical and structural inspections and repairs of factories. The accord also committed brands to develop a similar structure in Pakistan and at least one other country. Over 750,000 are expected to be protected. But big gaps persist. Some big multinationals have even now refused to sign up to Bangladesh's factory safety deal. Campaigners say more brands need to join the accord, especially in North America, to make rules truly global. Campaigners say workers in Bangladesh, which is the second largest exporter of clothing in the world behind China, are still underpaid and can be harassed for being part of a union. At many places, workers are still not provided a living wage and decent living conditions. Hark back to the present day. Sumi Akhtar was 18 when the Rana Plaza building collapsed. Trapped for several hours herself, life for her changed completely.
My mother used to work here. I joined later on April 1 and the building collapsed on 24th. I lost my mother in the incident and here I am crippled, left in my home.
In the 10 years gone by since the Rana Plaza nightmare, workers' unions, foreign manufacturers have created multiple watchdogs. An impetus to clean up a poorly regulated industry was put in place. Yet even now, big holes remain. The anniversary calls for a renewed global push.
Shifting our focus from Bangladesh to Nepal. The 25th of April marked 8 years since the deadly earthquake rocked the Himalayan nation. The earthquake killed nearly 9,000. Our next story is from the dangerous mountains of Nepal. Recently, an Indian mountaineer was rescued after being reported missing for 3 days. Take a look at this report where we tell you why this mountain Annapurna is known to be deadly.
Heart-wrenching moments from a rescue mission. This is Adam Bileki, who along with his rescue team pulled out 34-year-old Indian mountaineer Anurag Malu. Rescuers hauled Malu up 656 feet from the depths of a crevice on Mount Annapurna in West Nepal. Tragedy had struck on the 17th of April when Malu was returning to base camp. He had failed to reach Annapurna's summit and had plans to try again days later. He fell near Camp 2 from an altitude of about 5,600 meters. Several rescue attempts were made. 3 days later, on the 20th of April, 5 Sherpas and 2 foreign climbers pulled him out.
Luckily, 2 of the rescuers were finally able to manage and pull out Anurag from the crevasse and were successful in rescuing him.
They rushed him first to a hospital in Pokhara, then flew him down to Kathmandu. The efforts were successful. Malu is on the road to recovery.
The team brought him to the base camp, and then from that base camp, so I was of the base camp. So from base camp we went to Manipal, a teaching hospital, and there Mr. Dr. Hashim Subedi, he gave him CPR. He tried his best for next 3 hours around, and he gave him CPR for around 3 hours, which made his revival, and that was a sign of relief for us.
Officials call the mission to save Mallu a rare high-altitude rescue operation. Not everyone has been so lucky. A 10-time Everest summiteer from Northern Ireland died recently as he descended the same mountain. Standing 8,091 meters tall, Mount Annapurna is the world's 10th highest peak. Comparing Annapurna with Everest, it's a much shorter climb at a lower altitude. So what makes this climb one of the most dangerous in the world? An incredibly difficult route perhaps, and the frequent and unpredictable nature of avalanches here. Other reasons, the unpredictable weather and the lack of physical mountain support. The iconic peak in West Nepal was first climbed by Maurice Herzog of France in 1950. It is considered among the most dangerous in the country. Records say it has claimed some 72 lives. 365 people have made it to the top. The fatality rates: Mount Everest is at 4%, Annapurna kills 38% of climbers who attempt to conquer its peaks.
Inside is better.
A week before the Annapurna incident, 3 Nepali Sherpa climbers died after being hit by an ice serac. This one had happened in the lower reaches of Mount Everest. The spring mountaineering season has just begun in Nepal, and hundreds of foreigners and local guides have begun attempts to conquer the world's highest peaks. Starting this year, Nepal has banned solo trekking for foreigners across the nation, making it mandatory to take a guide along to ensure safety and well-being of tourists. Trekking is Nepal's biggest revenue earner. However, the cost of search and rescue missions that the country bears every time looking for the lost solo hikers accounts for a big monetary share. Banning solo trekking may reduce the number of incidents, but there can be no playing down the dangers and the challenge.
Our next story is from India. Doors have been opened for devotees of the famed Kedarnath temple despite meteorological warnings for weather alerts. Here's more.
From the Indian paramilitary pipe band performance to Dhol Tasha, a musical act from India's Maharashtra. 11,750 feet in the Himalayas, mystic chants reverberate. This is Kedarnath, one of Hinduism's holiest shrines located in India's Uttarakhand state. The iconic shrine was one of the few structures that remained standing in the area after the flood devastation in 2013. The Kedarnath temple was reopened for devotees on the 25th of April. 20 quintals of flowers decorated the structure in the picturesque foreground of ice-capped Himalayan hills. Devotees stood in long queues, chanting prayers as they waited to offer prayers to the god of transformation and renewal, Lord Shiv. Kedarnath is seen as a homogeneous form of Shiva, the lord of Kedarkhand, the historical name of the region. Located on the shores of the Mandakini river, the shrine is a part of the popular pilgrimage route known as the Chota Char Dham Yatra. covering the 4 iconic temple towns of Kedarnath, Badrinath, Gangotri, and Yamunotri. The temple attracts hundreds of thousands of devotees every year. Due to extreme weather conditions, the temple is open to the general public only between the months of April and November. During the winters, the presiding deity is carried downhill to Ukhimat. This year in particular stood out. Kedarnath was kept open despite inclement weather. Amid a heavy rush for bookings, over 96,000 devotees have registered to visit the shrine between the 25th and 29th of April. Further registration has been stopped till the end of this month. Tourists and devotees already en route have been told to stay at Rishikesh, Bhadrakali, and Vyasi for now. A visit to Kedarnath is seen as a huge challenge, said in itself to be a test of state of mind and devotion. And only the most ardent make the journey and hold the visit as a badge forever.
And that's a wrap of this edition of Inside South Asia. We hope you enjoyed the show. Do join us again next week. Signing off for the WION team, I'm Dasani Athauda.
The red color symbolizes blood and death. Many women died while opposing the hijab over time. Now they must wear it forcibly. The collage shows that.
My mind is taking me back to those memories, be it with my mother, with my friends, or maybe the place that I was born. It is all the memories that somehow, it is showing in my artwork, and it is also those memories that connects me to the present.